In activity 4.12, I'll demonstrate setting and testing cascade options. Using the 4A City directory, click on Database Tools, click on Relationships, and remember that we have a department table related to employees' office information in one-to-many fashion. And then we have employees' personal information related back to the employees' office information on a one-to-one relationship basis. For this setting and testing of the cascade options, we'll focus on the one-to-one relationship between employees' office and employees' personnel. So I click on the relationship line and I edit the relationships, and we see enforce referential integrity, and that's fine. In fact, we'll leave it there for a moment, and I'll open the office and personal tables, and I'll go to office, and let's say, for instance, that I determine that Priscilla Parsons' employee ID is incorrect. Somebody made a mistake. It's not 764, it's really 763. So I'm going to overwrite the 4 and make it a 3, and then I'm going to go to the next record, and it's going to complain. The record cannot be deleted or changed because table 4A employees personal includes related records. What does that mean? Well, I'll hit escape. There we go. Now, if I click the plus sign on Priscilla Parsons, I'll see a related record, and this is in the employee's personal database. So if I'm going to change the employee ID here because it's a mistake, I need to also tell Access to change it in the related child record. Now, it's not displayed. The 589764 is not displayed, but it actually exists in this table, and to prove it, we can go to the personal information and see that 589764 actually exists in that table. And we can do this operation from either employee's office or employee's personal because it is a one-to-one relationship. Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we make it so I can update the employee ID? We go back to relationships, point at the relationship line, edit relationships, and let's click Cascade Update Related Fields. Now Access will let me, okay, I have to close these tables before we can do those kinds of changes. Okay, so pointing at the relationship, edit relationship, and selecting the Cascade Update Related Fields, I say OK. Now when I go to Office, now I can change this employee ID that's in error from a 4 to a 3, and when I hit enter and go down to the next record, it replicates that changes. It acts like a domino effect, and it goes through and it not only updates it here, but it updates it in the child record. And we can verify that by going to personal and see it now says 589763. So that's an example of cascading update. Now let's say we need to delete a record. Let's say that a certain employee no longer works for the company, and we'll say it's Mrs. Joaquin Alonso. So I'll select the record in Employee's Office and hit the delete key, and it says the record cannot be deleted or changed because table 4A employees personal includes related records. Well, we can see there are related records here. That's what the plus sign is telling us. And when we look, we see the personal information. And so how do we get around that? So we go and close these tables. We learned that on the last try. And in relationships, we'll point at the relationship line and edit relationships and say cascade delete related records. So we turn that on. Now we can go back and open up Employees Office, Employees Personal, and we can go to Mrs. Joaquin Alonso, select the record, and I'm going to press the delete key, and notice that that record disappeared from view in Employees Office. Now the message says relationships that specify cascading deletes are about to cause one record in this table along with related records in related tables to be deleted. I'm going to say OK. And now when I go look at employees personal, I see there's a deleted record here. If I click on the plus sign, there's nothing there. If I click refresh all, the deleted goes away. Now that I'm done fixing the problem with the employee ID and deleting the separated employee from the database, I can go back to this relationship line, and this time I'll double click it, and I'll turn off cascade delete related records and turn off cascade update related fields. And now the enforcement of the referential integrity will stop us from deleting parent records when there are still child records. And then if we need to do more maintenance on the database, we can always go back and update the relationship to allow the cascading of cascaded updates of related fields and cascaded deletes of related records. Okay, and again I have to close the objects in order to update those relationships. I keep forgetting that. It's not an operation we do a lot. It's really for maintenance. So now I will uncheck, say OK, and that has now updated this one-to-one relationship back to its original status. And that's the end of this activity.